So women started cheating on her husband because she hates
Cheated on my
him.
husband over 20 times and I don't bother hiding it because I secretly
Wait,
hate
hold
him.
on. Oh, I gotta do this to prove I'm not a... Here we go.
I've cheated on my husband over 20 times and I don't bother hiding it because I secretly hate him. Disclaimer is not my story time. It's sending me on Instagram. After realizing that I was living with the man-child who made me do everything for him, who cried all the time, who was always so sensitive and always needed something, and complained 24/7, I decided to start cheating. A few years ago, I had met a guy through a coworker. We always followed each other on Instagram and I knew that he was attracted to me. And he's pretty hot. And rich and good looking. So I decided to reach out on Instagram and asked him if he wanted to go out. Not only did he say yes, he planned a whole outing. We went hiking and we went to get massages. Then he took me out to dinner. And then we went to his place and had amazing sex. I would see this guy about 3 times a week. Then I started hooking up with another guy that I met at the gym. This guy was really hot, but he didn't have a lot of money, so we never really went out. It was just plain sex, but it was good. About 6 months later, I met another guy. Again, amazing sex. Do you think my husband noticed anything? No. I would talk to these guys on the phone while my husband was in the same room. I would be setting up...
What? She would talk to these guys on the phone. I would be setting up dates with these guys in the same room as my husband. The audacity. At least when men cheat, they cheat respectfully, right? They go to extreme lengths for you to not find out. Women we have the audacity.
Setting up dates with these guys in the same room as my husband. Do you think he cared? No. I would even wear sexy outfits to go out with them and he never asked anything. He would just say, have fun. And then he would call me to complain about what he was feeling and what he wanted me to buy. Am I terrible for doing this?
I feel like he was probably cheating too and just didn't care. What a nasty girl. I know. Now, the next thing that is going on Twitter is women talking about mental load. So there's a couple of phrases I've heard women bring up the last couple of years. Now, what happens is women... Okay, so have you guys ever thought you really liked a girl? You're going on dates, things are going good. Maybe she's a friend in your friend group or you've known her for a while and you think you really like her. And then you have sex with her and you realize you didn't really like her as much as you thought. You just wanted to smash. You know, sometimes as people, we're not always aware the reason we do things, or maybe we change our mind later. What happens with women, you guys have post-nut clarity. We have post-child clarity. So a lot of times women don't realize they don't like their husbands. And they, we've all seen it, that girl that is a type. And then she gets married to a guy that looks nothing like her exes because she didn't like the guy, but she wanted the kid in the marriage. And the problem for us is attention is our currency. The same way sex is you guys' currency. So once we get that attention and it wears off, then we have to ask ourselves the question, do we actually like the man that's in front of us? I got what I wanted. I got the wedding. I got the kids. So what happens is women start to realize after they have the number of kids that they wanted and the attention goes away from the kids that they don't like the man in front of them. That's when they start to looking for other options, and they usually leave when the kid is around 4, like 3 to 5, whenever it starts going to daycare or public school. And you can tell the women that don't like their husbands, you can tell because they start to count favors back and forth. And they start to complain about him not doing chores or these other terms like he's not, women do more emotional labor. It doesn't make any sense because men don't really talk about their problems that much, where we complain a lot. So if anybody does emotional labor, it's definitely the men, right? It's definitely the guys. Men are just, I think as a woman, the one thing women envy about men is the peace that they could have with a mattress on the floor in an apartment, right? You guys it's like, you'll see a guy and he'll just, one time when I was in California for a while, I met a homeless guy. And this homeless guy was talking to me about how he loved being homeless. Like he was just content in like this little shack that he had built. And he was and I'm like, could a woman be happy doing that? No. Women will be in like mansions and unhappy. So here we go. Why I considered divorcing my husband.
I've been with my husband for almost 20 years, but about 3 years ago, I was strongly considering divorce, and I want to talk to you about why. So I'm going to tell you the story of the day where I thought to myself, maybe I don't want to do this anymore.
In similar words of Do or Die in 1996, trad cucks didn't study pimpology, and logically, they never learned how hoes, biology, and obviously Lone Ranger Hashtag SYSBM.
My husband and I had 4 kids. We both worked full time. We had been together for 16 years at this point. We've been together since high school.
Yeah, and so the problem is, you wonder why the divorce rate is lower or is higher for people that get married before 20 and before 25. The lowest divorce rate is like, it's either 25 to 30 or 30 to 35. The reason being, women don't want to spend their youth on their husband. And the problem you get with women that marry young, it's a benefit for you guys, because I'll tell you why it kind of benefits you guys. The woman, you get all the good years, right? And then when she decides to leave you, right? Because we tend to do this in our late 20s, early 30s. You know, we see all the yachts we didn't go on, all the stuff we missed out on. Then we start hating the husband for it. We're like, you took all the free shit I could have gotten. And the guy's like, I provided for you for the last decade. I've done this, this, and this. And she's like, amnesia. It's like, so then she gets early 30s, maybe late 30s, and she's gonna, like, she leaves, right? This is really not a bad deal for you guys. But the reason is, we get all these offers 24/7. So it's like, you act up, the girl's gonna think, I have 10 offers. I'm turning down this, I'm turning down this. It builds the resentment. And then they leave yo ass. Sorry, fellas.
And on paper, I have an amazing husband.
So she married young. She's seeing all her friends doing sex in the city lifestyle. Now she's mad at her husband for chores. And he's like, it came out later, this woman had a nanny and she was complaining about chores. She doesn't even have to watch her kids. She works full time and yet still not happy. Don't try, fellas. Don't try to make us happy. Impossible. We can't even make ourselves happy. You guys have that shit on lock. You guys can get an apartment. You know what's crazy? I'll interview men whose lives are completely shattered. Like, I interviewed this guy, came on the show. His kid was transitioned. And like, that's a terrible thing, right? He's still pretty happy-go-lucky. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, you went through a terrible... I'm not trying to laugh at the situation. Sorry, I laugh sometimes. It makes it seem insensitive. But it's just amazing to me. Like, men can keep a positive spirit through so much. Where women, it's like our barista gives us the wrong order and it's World War III and our life is falling apart and we're not happy and need to divorce our children. And the husband's like, hey, you can get another coffee. It's okay. Right? So now this woman, like, I mean, that looks like a nice house. I don't know where she lives, but granite countertops, it looks like a lot of counter space. That looks like a great place to live, right? Now let's see her husband's crime. Let's see what the husband did that was so bad. Did he cheat?
Husband. He is incredibly supportive.
Okay, so didn't cheat.
He's kind.
Okay, cat, that's good.
He's loyal. He's a great dad.
Okay, kind, loyal, great dad. But I'm sure if you wanted to leave him, we're going to get to it, right? There's going to be something really bad he did.
He's very hands-on. He's an active participant. He's always present.
But she's thinking she wanted to leave her husband, so what's the bad?
On paper, what else could I ask for?
Okay.
But in reality...
Okay, in reality, there must have been something really bad that happened, right?
My experience is very similar to the experience of other women. I had this amazing husband who on paper was great, but I was incredibly frustrated and burnt out from our marriage and from motherhood. Because what happens to so many of us is that we marry these amazing men.
Okay, so she's burnt out from marriage and motherhood. I'm sure she's got to be a stay-at-home mom, right? No help, right?
And we have amazing relationships, and then we have kids. And when we have kids, women tend to carry a disproportionate amount of the work in the home, the work of raising kids, and the mental load. And that is exactly what happened to us. About 3 months.
The mental load. So what, was he screaming at you? Like, what was this mental? I keep hearing about this mental load, but what? Do you know what I think the mental load actually is? It's women having to deal with our mental. That's the mental load. Like, we have to carry more of a mental load because men don't have a mental load because they're sane. Like, in general, I would say 8 out of 10 men are pleasant to be around. Where 1 out of 10 women are pleasant to be around. Like, I think so women have a higher mental load because our mental is just too much. It's like we got all the emotions and the ups and downs and that pissed me off and she made me mad and that girl did this, that guy did that, da 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 da.
Months after my fourth baby was born, I remember looking at my husband and saying, I need more. I need you to do more. I am exhausted. I am in charge of everyone and everything in this house. Every night when we cook dinner, you ask me what to make.
Okay, so the mental load is he asked you what you have to cook. Okay, this is what I don't get. Don't you have to eat yourself? Like, don't, because women always say, I don't want to cook, right? But like, how do you eat? Don't you have to eat for yourself, And does it take that long? There's like crock pots now. Like you could make some chili in the morning and at night. I mean, that's a family of 4. Because I think it says she has 4 kids.
Every day when you drop off the kids at daycare, you ask me what they need in their back.
Okay, so she has daycare. But what he did that was so bad, you ask me what they need in their backpack. So, so the mental load is having to choose what to eat for dinner and packing their backpacks. Okay.
I am the project manager of this home and I need you to do more.
Okay, she is the project manager of the home.
And he looked at me and he said, okay, just tell me what to do.
Okay, so again, doesn't seem like this terrible guy if she says, I need help. He says, okay, what do you need? He didn't say you're wrong, you're not. He said, okay, that sounds like doesn't that sound like a reasonable guy to you? What would warrant the possible divorce?
Right, every woman has heard this. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And I said, okay.
So if every woman has heard, tell me what to do and I'll do it, that's a guy with no frame because he doesn't understand women. You're like, oh, you guys, it's so funny. You guys will be like, just tell me what to do. We don't even know what to do. Like, we can't even make good decisions for our lives. Okay, we have all this debt. We date guys that don't want to commit to. We make bad choices. And you're like, the guys are like, just tell me what choice I need to make you happy. We can't even make choices to make ourselves happy. Dumb question. Something
that would make my life easier is if in the mornings when I came downstairs with the 4 kids, because I do mornings by myself, the dishwasher was emptied, the dishes were put away, and the trash was taken out.
Okay, so she doesn't have to what I'm hearing is she doesn't have to hand wash. He got her a dishwasher, okay? I lived in England. Do you know how much more time cooking takes when you have to hand wash? All you have to do now is just plop, plop. Okay.
That would make my life.
Pearl, women can't handle making decisions. Yes, they can. Women make a lot of decisions. They make decisions of where to get their Botox done, their lip fillers, BBLs, boob job. Women can make decisions, but we're lazy. So we want you to do it for us. We totally can do it. We make the decision to dump you. That's a decision we make. Yeah, okay.
Life so much easier because when I've got the 4 kids running around and the baby crying, I can't be looking for their favorite water bottle in the dishwasher. I just need to know it's clean.
I can't. Okay. Now, if you have 1 dish, it takes like 5 minutes to clean it. I know I just said it kind of contradicts, but I'm saying when it's like a big load, right? Not a little one.
And he said, yeah, of course. What? Yeah, I'll do that. That's no problem. And so, of course, he does it. But then I have to remind him, and then he forgets, and then I have to remind him again. And there was this one morning where I woke up, and I went to put something in the trash, and it was overflowing.
And here's the thing. Men would rather have a messy house than a nagging wife. They would rather you not clean at all and just shut the fuck up instead of nagging them, right?
And I
Pearl's black-pilled. Yup, I am.
went to get my son's water bottle, and it was in the dishwasher with all the other.
Yeah, the guys are already coming up with solutions. They're like, paper plates. They're like, we don't need to do dishes. What do we need dishes for? Men are so funny.
Clean dishes. And I felt so disrespected and unseen and unvalued at that point in time. And I remember texting my husband being like, what happened? Like, why didn't you do this? And he said, sorry, I was running late for work. And I remember thinking, oh my God, he doesn't see me. Because what he's done has now made me late for work. And he doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about the impact on me. And he doesn't see how every single thing in our home happens because I ask him to do it or because I do it myself.
So again, To me, this is just a narcissism because that looks like a big house. Do you think that she fixes things when the dishwasher breaks? This is what happens. Women do things, but the difference is men are like good people, right? Not all. So when they do something nice, they don't keep track of it. They're like, here, I did this to be nice. But women, it's a scorecard. So women, we have like this mental tracker that's just there. So when we do something, it's like here, then we do something else, and we do something else, and we do something else, and we do something else. Then 3 years in, we list all of those things, and the guy's like, I wasn't even keeping track. We were supposed to keep track. The guy's like, I don't even remember the things I did. I do stuff for you all the time. And she's like, I did this. And you did this wrong, that wrong. And he's like, we were keeping score. He's like, I didn't know I was supposed to keep score. And then you guys lose every argument. You guys got to play chess, not checkers.
Or because I planned and organized it. The diaper bag is full because I filled it, right?
Okay. So her contributions are taking out the trash, the dishwasher, and filling a diaper bag. I don't know. I can't say, but what's really happening below the surface is she's mad she reproduced with him. So she's trying to, women don't get mad at men they're happy they reproduced with, right? And the thing is, remember, we can't be happy anyway, so don't take it personal, fellas. Like it takes so much, but for whatever reason, our wires go, and she's convinced she could have did better with the youth she had. She met him in high school, so she's like, I could have did better in college. I saw my friends do better in college. And then it just goes off, right? So now, she's mad she reproduced with him, and now she's rationalizing.
Put the wipes in there. And I felt so frustrated. And I remember thinking, what's the point? What's the point of doing this with someone else? I might as well just do it alone. And it's not because my husband didn't love me or he did anything to me.
Okay, so again, he loved me. He didn't do anything to me. But I'm considering a divorce. And not to the point that she's putting it on the internet. Look, we're human. Everybody's got thoughts we're not proud of. The men think, I want to bang that hot girl at work, right? The women think, oh, I want to leave. This is World War III. But you know what you can do? You can complain to maybe your immediate family or whatever, but not the internet, right?
To me, and it's not because I didn't love him, but because I felt so taken advantage of in our relationship. And this dynamic, it doesn't happen by.
I hope he goes and finds a 22-year-old. I wish you all a 22-year-old. It's a better experience. I know it's a little hypocritical because I'm old now, but I'm just saying they're much more pleasant.
By accident, right? It's not like my husband did it to me, but we've been raised in this society that tells men and women who they should be in marriages and what it looks like to be a good mom versus a good dad. And we know the bar for moms is way up here and the bar for dads is way down here. And we fell into these norms. We fell into these roles in our family despite the fact that we never wanted to. And I'm lucky, and I say lucky because I have a partner who I know loves me and wants me to be happy and was willing and able to change. And so we did the work to figure out what equity looked like in our relationship. And I can tell you now, 3 years.
So now, translation, he does whatever I say now. That's what that means. Like when we did the work, it means now the relationship, I used to let him not do whatever he wants, but have some things that he enjoys. Now he has nothing that he enjoys. I have taken away all joy from him.
Years later, that we are happier than ever. Our kids are thriving. Our home runs like a well-oiled machine.
Translation, he does all the work now. And I put a dish in the dishwasher and he allows me to feel like I did more than I did because he doesn't want me to divorce him. So he does the work, I'll take the credit. That's what that means.
Machine. And that took a lot of work. I want to say it took like 18 months to get there. And it was well worth it. But it is not uncommon. And so if your wife is coming to you and she's saying, I'm burnt out by the mental load and I need you to do
the mental load. Okay. Again, so let me get this straight. The mental load is garbage, dishwasher, and packing a backpack. Okay.
more. She's not just saying that because she wants you to do more chores. She's saying that because truly it can hurt your relationship. It can ruin your marriage if you do not participate in an equitable way in your home. And so what does that look like?
I want to boss him around in the house. I want this to be my house, not his house.
What does it look like to change these dynamics?
I want to dictate the way everything's done.
But we need to really assess in our homes what the work looks like. Because in most homes, the data supports this, women do a disproportionate amount of the work.
Men actually work longer hours, and they only count the chores that women tend to do, like kitchen chores. They don't count the yard work chores. How many women mow the grass? Will fix anything. So it's like, imagine, it's kind of like the WNBA, where women don't do as much, but like they give them more free media attention. And even though they operate at a loss, they keep paying them. That's the equivalent of how women feel like they're doing everything in the house.
They just do. They do more of the cooking and the cleaning and the laundry and the childcare while also working full time. And men have more time for things like their hobbies, like golf, for example, or just.
Okay. That is just not true. So when men get into a relationship, they tend to give up their hobbies because women calendar block. So they make you to go to all these stupid events you don't want to go to. So men are the ones that give up their hobbies so you can go to the sports games, visit her sister, visit her mother, do all this stupid stuff you don't even want to do. Where women keep their hobbies but pretend, most women's hobbies are social media, gossiping and watching the Kardashians or some dumb shows like that. So we keep those, right? Going to see our friends, but we hate anything that makes men happy that doesn't benefit us. So that's why we hate video games. That's why she's bitching about golf, because it doesn't directly benefit us.
Working out, running a marathon, right? And so we need to have hard conversations about what our time looks like, what our labor in the home looks like, what is invisible labor. We have to talk about these things. And when we don't, the alternative is that you no longer have a marriage or you don't have a happy one.
I will divorce you if you don't do chores. That's what she's saying.
And so I share this story because I don't think I'm alone in this experience.
Because women in the West are terrible, and I feel better for being a terrible wife if other women are terrible wives.
And I want people to know that there's hope.
You can control your husband. You can. You can make him simp.
And that if you have a willing and able partner,
I'll show you how to get a simp.
You can change this. You can absolutely change this.
Here's how to get more power and control in your relationship.
It's dynamic.
There you go. So let's look at this woman's page. She's a demon, I can just tell. Oh, men's hobbies.
This is a really weird comment, but I'm going to use it as an
All right,
opportunity.
it says, God forbid a man have hobbies that don't revolve around women. Oh, she's going to dig her grave.
To talk about hobbies, and specifically the differences between men and women when it comes to hobbies. Now, I don't know if you're familiar, but there's actually a leisure gap between men and women, where men have more time for things like hobbies and leisure than women do. And this is directly correlated with the fact that women tend to do more domestic labor, the cooking, the cleaning, the laundry, and they do more caretaking for children. So they're spending more time with their kids.
I'm a working mom of 4, and I do morning.
This is
Oh my gosh.
This is a really weird comment, but I'm going to use it as an opportunity to talk about hobbies, and specifically the differences between men and women when it comes to hobbies. Now, I don't know if you're familiar, but there's actually a leisure gap between men and women, where men have more time for things like hobbies and leisure than women
Men work more hours. It's just simply not true.
do. And this is directly correlated with the fact that women tend to do more domestic labor, the cooking, the cleaning, the laundry, and they do more caretaking for children. So they're spending more time with their kids on average than men are.
Daycare is $1 billion industry. Billion with a B.
And this
Women are not having children either. They're not.
means that men have more time for hobbies. They have more time for hobbies that take them out of the house. Let's think golf, hunting, fishing, working on cars, right? All of these things take them outside of the home and typically are not done with kids. Whereas women's
You can fish with a kid. You can golf with a kid. Doesn't Trump golf with his grandkids? Like, aren't they like pro golf? Okay, let me go back. I want to.
hunting, fishing, working on cars, right?
Those are all things that you could do. I mean, maybe not under like 3, but could you bring a baby fish? I don't fish, so this is probably a stupid question, but like, I don't see why you couldn't. Like, if you bring the baby bag and stuff, get some shade or whatever. I don't understand fishing. You guys just stare at the water for hours. It just couldn't be me. But again, could you guys have that peace inside of you? I'm a woman, right? So there's no peace here. Like, we have to like wrestle. The mental energy really is just arguing with ourselves. That's the mental load she's talking about. It's not him. It's in us, right?
All of these things take them outside of the home and typically are not done with kids. Whereas women's hobbies, they don't revolve around men, but they typically are done in the home and can be done while watching children. Women will say their hobbies are things like reading, knitting, gardening, baking.
Okay, because I'm thinking reading, I understand you're in the home, but aren't you just kind of sitting there when you fish? I don't know if this is a dumb question. You guys have to forgive me. I don't fish. I'm not a fisher. But this is like, she's playing 4D chess with how she's rationalizing how women's hobbies benefit the family while men's don't.
Baking. And men, they have hobbies that take them outside of the home. And these hobbies oftentimes don't just happen over an hour or two. They happen over extended periods of time, sometimes a full day or even a weekend hunting, right?
Aren't there kids dying now because their mom left them home alone to go like clubbing?
So when women complain about men's hobbies like golf or fishing or hunting, it's not because they want their husband's hobbies to revolve around women. They want their partners to be more involved in the house, in the caretaking. They want their partners to be an active participant. And they also want hobbies too. Hobbies that they don't have to do in between nap time and dinner. They want time for rest and relaxation the same way that men get it. And so no, women don't hate it when men have hobbies that don't revolve around them. What they probably don't like is the fact that their partner gets a lot more time to themselves than they ever had.
This woman's a demon. Oh my gosh, the comment section is, I find that women have to make time for our hobbies, wake up at 5 a.m. to work out, where men can take time for theirs. But men, do you know what men are better at? They're better at incorporating their kids into their hobby. Like, I went on this business trip the other day, and the guy that like drove us around, his kid was with him the entire time. So we're like doing all this stuff, and the dad, and he's so excited his kid's there, where the moms like don't, like when you have the kid with them, they're like complaining about the kid. They're like, I mean, that's just what I've seen, right? So hypothetically, like the same way the dad brought the kid to the business meeting, and he was fine. The kid was like really well behaved. The mom could take the kid to the gym, but then they'd have to like, I would think, I mean, maybe not a big gym, but I'm saying like an at-home, like you can buy some weights or whatever. I mean, teach them how to do a push-up. I don't know. Like, okay. Also, no, knitting, sewing, crafting, gardening, and baking all produce outcomes that are reinvested into the home. Okay. Yeah. But what women, I have never met a woman my age or younger or 10 years older that knits. I don't know. Are you guys meeting women that knit? Let's be honest. Even their household chores are child-free. That is not true. I know so many guys that would work on cars with their dad. My dad knew I was useless when it came to fixing cars, so he didn't even try. Sorry, Dad. You know what I mean? There's things I'm good at. That's not it. How come women's hobbies are always trying to be monetized? I started crocheting. All I heard is, oh, you can sell that. Why can't I do something for the joy of it? I'm a distance runner. It takes a lot of times to run 26 miles, and I have to fight for it. Yeah, distance. Do you know what, though? The men, do you know what the men do? I've seen it because I ran a marathon this fall. The men will bring out their kids and push them. So I'm just thinking through what I've seen. And like, if a man and a woman does a hobby, the man will figure out a way to incorporate the kid. So it's like something like my dad coached me in basketball and he loved it. Oh my gosh. That's like my favorite memory with my dad. It was like 5th grade and we were like missing layups and he's like, go, go. He's like screaming. He's like coaching 5th grade. He still to this day talks about like, we won like our 5th grade championship. And like it's one of my favorite childhood memories. And I think a lot of people have that experience where something they did with their father, that was their favorite memory, where the moms don't incorporate you as much into the hobbies. That's just not, that's what I've seen. And this is how women feel when they do the chores, okay?
Well, I'm gonna go do the dishes.
Cool.
It'd be nice if you helped me.
No problem. We'll get them.
Pearl Reed, she's telling the female-friendly version of the story. The female-friendly version is where the woman is the hero and the victim at the same time.
A little bit later, I'm just going to hit the streets here for a little bit.
Gary, come on. I don't want to do them later. Let's just do them now. Take 15 minutes.
Oh, honey, I am so exhausted. I just honestly want to relax for a little bit. If I could just sit here, let my food digest, and just try to enjoy the quiet for a little bit. Get some, get some, get some. That's what happens. And we will... we can clean the dishes tomorrow.
Gary, you know, I don't like waking up to a dirty kitchen.
Who cares?
I care, all right? I care. I busted my ass all day cleaning this house and then cooking that meal, and I worked today. It would be nice if you said thank you and helped me with the dishes.
Fine. I'll help you do the damn dishes.
Oh, come on. You know what? No, that's not what I want.
You just
And I'm telling you guys, women love this scene.
said that you want me to help you do the dishes.
I want you to want to do the dishes.
Why would I want to do dishes? Why?
See, that's my whole point.
Let me see if I'm following this, okay? Are you telling me that you're upset because I don't have a strong desire to clean dishes?
No, I'm upset because you don't have a strong desire to offer to do the dishes.
I just did.
After I asked you.
And guys, women love this movie. We do.
Jesus, Brooke, you're acting crazy again.
Don't you call me crazy. I am not crazy.
I didn't call you crazy.
Just
I didn't call you crazy. No, I didn't. I said you're acting crazy.
You know what, Gary? I asked you to do one thing today, one very simple thing, to bring me 12 lemons, and you brought me 3.
God damn it. If I knew that it was going to be this much trouble, I would have brought home 24 lemons. Even 100. I know what I wish? I wish everyone that was at that goddamn table had their own little private bag of lemons.
Gary, it's not about the lemons.
Well, that's all you're talking about.
I'm just saying it'd be nice if you did things that I asked. It would be even nicer if you did things without me having to ask you.
Please read my mind. Read my mind and do whatever I say.
Well, I do seem to remember doing something for you this morning without you asking.
Gary, come on.
I'm
You know what?
serious.
No, I'm
Come here.
serious.
I am
I
too.
really am. Come on, you knew I was working today and I made that meal, and you could have thought to yourself, you know, you could have said, I think I'm going to get Brooke some flowers.
You said on our very first date that you don't like flowers, that they're a waste of money.
Every girl likes flowers, Gary.
You say that you don't like flowers. I'm supposed to take that to mean that you do like flowers?
No, this is not about, you're not getting it. You're not getting this, Gary. Okay, it's not about the lemon.
He's so confused.
It's not about the flowers. It's not about the dishes. It's just, how many times do I have to drop hints about the ballet?
You know I can't stay. Brooke, come here. We talked about the damn ballet. I hate the goddamn ballet. You got a bunch of dudes in tights flopping around for 3 hours. It's like a medieval techno show. It's a nightmare. I sit there in a sweat. The whole thing. I do. Wondering when the hell's the goddamn nightmare gonna end? Go to a damn ballet.
It's not about you loving the ballet, Gary. It's about the person that you love loves the ballet, and you wanting to spend time with that person.
Not when they're at the ballet?
Okay, forget the ballet. Forget the ballet. We don't go anywhere together.
We just went to Ann Arbor together.
To Ann Arbor. To the Michigan Notre Dame game. You think screaming drunk kids and leprechauns doing backflips, that's fun. That's fun for me. Come on, man. I did that for you. How do you show up for me?
I'm up on the bus every goddamn day for you.
Come on.
I'm busting my ass to be the best tour guide in the damn city so I can make enough money to support both of us, and hopefully you won't have to work one day.
I want to work.
All I ask, Brooke, is that you show a little bit of appreciation, that I just get 20 minutes to relax when I come home instead of being attacked with questions and nag the whole damn time.
You think that I nag you?
That's all you do! All you do is nag me. The bathroom's a mess. Your belt doesn't match. Hey, Gary, you should probably go work out. Nothing I ever do is ever good enough. I just want to be left the hell alone.